Welcome back to part 2 of Strength versus Strategy. We finished the front 9 all square and we are about to start. This is a tricky little par 4. You have water on the left. You can only carry the ball about 220 yards, and if you can see in the distance, there's some fairway bunkers that are about 130 to 150 yards out. The right line is actually to split those bunkers with some sort of long iron. I'm actually hitting a 4-iron here just to be safe. So while I hit my 4-iron way to the right, Troy put his iron straight down the middle. And he is in great position and has an easy go at this green. However, I'm way over on top of this hill, which is actually the green for a little par 3 that we'll play in a minute. And it was a very awkward stance. Ball was way above my feet. And I ended up hitting a 7-iron and just popped it way up into the air, and it landed about 10 yards. So Troy's on in 2, and this is my chip attempt. But I thinned it, and it runs way to the back of the green. Despite my poor chip, I ended up making bogey, and Troy lips out and makes bogey also, so we're all square. This is another tricky hole where you have to carry about 150, 160 yards of water to get to the fairway, and the further you go, the more the water and the woods neck in. So Troy decides to go with driver and is rewarded even though he hit a big slice. I decide to go with a hybrid and just pop that sucker straight up.
Got away with it.
So I'm way out here. I'm hitting that same hybrid. I've got a really clean lie, and I strike it better than I've hit a hybrid in a long time. Just ends up a little bit short and rolls down the hill. Troy just has a little wedge, or a little 9-iron, I guess, into this green. And he ends up hitting a pretty good shot that goes a little bit long. So I'm on the side of this hill having to chip back up to the green, and not a bad effort from the lie and the stance that I was in. Troy has this long putt for birdie from off the fringe. I've got this 11-footer for par to tie Troy, and it doesn't go in. Now Troy is 1 up.
Yeah, right center.
The 12th hole is kind of a tricky par 5, so once again you have to carry about 150, 160 yards of water, but you can't hit a drive more than about 270 yards because the water cuts into the middle and it's almost a split fairway. Pretty much the cart path is the only thing that goes through the fairway. So to be safe, since there's water left, water right, and water long, Troy hits a 5-iron and I hit a hybrid.
So turn over.
I've got almost 270 yards to an island green, and so I decide to just lay up with a 7-iron and play it safe. So Troy had 260 yards to the pin, but he only had about 235 to get onto the island green, so he uses his trusty 4-wood and goes after it. So kind of an intimidating shot with this island green, but a straightforward, 8-iron shot that I should be able to make every day of the week. But I end up pulling it left. So we both thought Troy had gone in the water, but by some miracle he found his ball and was able to chip it up. So he's on in 3. I'm over here because I drew mine a little bit, and I am now on. I have got to make this little 6-footer to push the hole, and it just doesn't go in. I lipped out. So now Troy is 2 up. So now we've come to this par 3. We're into the wind, and the par 3, the green is about 30 yards above our feet. After seeing Troy's ball land short, I decided to club up to an 8-iron, but I didn't commit to it, and it ended up landing about 5 yards short and rolling about 30 yards down this hill. So here's Troy's chip shot. He ends up blading it and running it all the way to the back of the green. I'm so far down the hill I have to hit a full pitch and end up short. Troy's got this long putt from all the way on the back of the green for par. Hole 14 is a 90-degree dogleg left. You can only carry the ball about 200 yards or you'll go straight through the fairway. Troy decides to go with a hybrid, and I decide to go with an easy driver to keep it under 220. So you can't see this green, but it's actually about 20 yards below where we're standing on this fairway. Troy's got 179 and he's hitting his 7-iron, and he hits it dead at the pin. I'm hitting the same 7-iron, but I'm only going a little over 150. Once again, I've got a little 6-footer to make par and tie the hole, and it goes in. So Troy is still 2 up. Another tricky little par 4, dogleg right. The green is about 40 or 50 yards above the fairway. I decided to hit a 7-iron just to be in the middle of the fairway because it's only 295 yards.
Oh, beautiful.
Troy chose driver to try to get on the green off the tee, and he hit his worst tee shot of the day. Huge slice way to the right, ends up going out of bounds. You can't really tell, but the green is very elevated to where this fairway is, and so I end up hitting a 6-iron and barely make it onto the green on the right hand side. Troy couldn't find his ball and has to hit a 60-degree wedge shot into the green, and it barely makes the putting surface. So Troy has this long putt for par, while I have a long putt for birdie, almost equally as long. And you can't tell, but you have to go up a ridge and down a hill to get to the pin. So for any chance of pushing the hole, Troy has got to make this putt. And he made it. So now I have to make my putt if I want to win the hole. And I made it. So now Troy is only 1 up. The 16th hole is a 334-yard par 4. When the wind is with you, it's drivable, and it's a pretty big fairway, so there's not a lot of risk in hitting driver or wood off the tee. So Troy's going for it with a 3-wood.
Money. Short of the bunker.
I'm hitting driver because, like I said, it's a big fairway and there's not a lot of risk.
Nah, it's not way right.
So I ended up 45 yards out and decided to hit a little pitch shot into the screen and try to get it close. Troy's drive ended up rolling into the greenside bunker, and he was short-sighted and was trying to hit a big high shot to land soft on the green, but just got under it a little too much and landed on the lip. So he's now having to chip again for birdie. So I have this birdie putt to win the hole and get back to all square, but it just doesn't drop. And now Troy has this putt to tie the hole and keep it 1 up with 2 to play. Par 3, we are into the wind, so I think we both took a little bit of extra club to make sure that we got in the middle of the green.
Right. Turn it over.
Troy has got this long putt for birdie and just slams it by the hole. Once again, I've got a long birdie putt to win the hole, and I give it a really good run, but just not quite enough. Troy has this 6-footer to tie the hole and lips out, so we head into the 18th hole, all square. The 18th hole is a fairly straightforward hole. It's pretty straight. You go up this big hill and then you go down the big hill to the green. However, you cannot be right on this hole. The ideal line is just a hair left of the center of the fairway. And where Troy's ball went, it is out of bounds in a bunch of grass. So I actually hit my best drive of the day on this hole.
That's beautiful.
Right down the middle on
Self
the
was
ideal
listening to you.
line.
All right.
So Troy is going for the green. He's hitting his 4-wood. He is now hitting his 3rd shot.
Money. Cut.
On this shot, I couldn't decide what to do. I had less than 230 yards to the green, but it's a very narrow green and it's all downhill, and I couldn't figure out what club to hit. So I decided just to hit this easy hybrid shot and get in the center of the fairway. Well, the heat was starting to get to us, and Troy's ball didn't carry as far as he thought, so he has this wedge into the green, and it goes over the green. I've got this wedge into the green, and I go short of the green because I didn't take enough club. So Troy's got this chip for par. He knows I'm just short of the green with a chip for birdie, and I've been chipping it pretty close. So he gives it a really good run, and it's within gimme range, so I give it to him. Now I've got this chip for birdie, and all I have to do is get it close and tap in for par to win. So it's all come down to this. I have this one little 4-foot putt to win the match play on the 18th hole, and all I have to do is hit this little dead straight putt. And I pull it and miss the putt. So Troy and I play 18 holes and we finish all square. So we'll have a rematch pretty soon. That's what he's telling you in the camera right now. And we'll post that rematch on YouTube.